So there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just energy, nothing being everything, indescribable, unknowable, unobtainable, inescapable energy. That's all there is. Just energy. Energy, computering, chairing, voicing, whatever it is, whatever pours through the senses is simply energy. And as a person, then we add ourselves to what's appearing to happen. So there's a sense that I'm hearing, I'm sitting on the chair, I'm speaking, you know, I'm touching things, I'm thinking, I'm feeling, I'm whatever. And it's that's the way it is. People feel that they're there, that they're real, that they're solid, that they're an individual, a person, and the world tells them that they are an individual ever since they could go to school, and that's the way it is. You are a person. You have choice. There is cause and effect, and it all seems very, very real. It's a lived reality for a person. It's not an idea. It's not a concept. There's a lived sense of being in a body bound by the skin and looking out on a world in which I negotiate my way through and relate to others. There are other people, there are other things. So everything is an object to my subject. That's a subject object reality for a person. And that's the way it is. This is an invitation from nothing to see that actually there are no objects and there's no subject that's looking at them. It's an energetic, artificially energetic dream or story, or whatever word you want to put on it. And actually there's just what's appearing to happen. So that reality, that lived reality of feeling like a person in the world, can appear to fall away, because this, when it's heard, it's just energetic, and when it's heard and it resonates, it can be seen. And it's what's very obvious is that that sense of being a person never actually was. It was always a story, and what you had always yearned for had simply been whatever had appeared to be already. It had never left. It had never gone anywhere. So this isn't about getting anything. It's not about knowing anything or understanding anything. It's a sharing about the effervescence of what appears to be and the unknowable, boundless isness of this. And that can be obvious. So if there's any questions, they're there to be asked, and it's not about an answer really so much as an energetic sense of what's being suggested. Oh, hi Kim.
Hey, Kenneth. Kenneth, would you say if I say I feel good, and when I wake up in the morning, I have slept good,
Mm-hmm.
then it will be certain then it is this me who says this, or
Oh no, no, there is no individual already, right? So there's just, this is very simple actually, and that's one of the things that is the main reason it's not seen, is it's too obvious and ordinary and open and simple. So in that case, there's getting up and there's the thought, because that would be a thought, or else a verbalization of the thought to your partner, to somebody. I feel good. So that's what's appearing to happen then. It doesn't mean anything. It has no meaning or significance, or it doesn't mean that there's an individual, as opposed to somebody who gets up and doesn't say they feel good.
Okay, but you when you say it, you will say you don't refer to this
No, no,
I.
it's very tricky to not use language that says I or me or refer to yourself in the first person, and it's ridiculously pointless to do so. Also, so if that was the case, then I would go around not saying I. I would say, um, the person appearing as Kenneth feels good this morning. I'd get a shoe in the head from my wife pretty quickly. Like, and people I meet would look at me and go, "What? Why are you talking like a moron?"
Yeah,
But there are people who do speak like that. They think that that's significant. That if they don't speak in the first person, that it reflects their non separateness or whatever. That's all completely irrelevant. So already there's nobody. Already you didn't speak there. There's just speaking. And you didn't nod your head. There's just nodding the head. There's just sitting on a chair. There's just laughing. There's just whatever there is. And then we add ourselves to it. We have a lived feeling of being there.
yeah. Okay, maybe. Thank you.
Maybe. can I can I give you a provisional thank you? And I may retract it by the end of the meeting if that's okay. That's fine, no problem. I'll take that provisional thank you.
Okay, thank you again.
Yeah, yeah. I love that there's nothing on offer here. I mean, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. There's literally nothing on offer because there's nobody being spoken to here. There's nobody. There is already. It's very simple. There's no separate individual. There never has been. There's no separate anything actually. It's just there's just energy.
Hi, Kenneth. Do you hear me?
Hi, hi.
Hi. Uh, Actually, I don't know what. I hope you understand me with my French accent because it's
It's lovely.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's strange. I don't see you. Uh, it's okay.
I don't see
Uh,
you either, but I think
yeah.
everyone else sees me. So
Okay. Perfect.
you see
Uh,
me, Victoria, do you? Yeah.
okay then.
It's not me. It's you.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's funny because it's not that I have a question because question seems to have disappeared.
Oh yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't matter about questions. Sometimes there's questions, and sometimes it's just there's a kind of a sense of wanting to say something, which is nice too. Like yeah,
Yeah, but because what seems to be appearing is that something you say, it's seeking seems to have stopped because I was an intense seeker, but still, there's so much fun to listen to the message to come, and I don't know how to explain it, but it's seen, but still, I don't know, it's beyond words because
oh, completely beyond words, totally and utterly. Yeah,
and it's fascinating because I don't know who is talking now. I don't know where the words are coming from. Is that those
yeah,
coming? It's not
yeah.
even my language, so I don't know sometimes what I'm saying.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's indescribable because, and I'm glad you said that because I can't. What's been shared here, I can't describe at all, at all, at all, at all, at all. I cannot describe it at all, and it's just a sharing and a pointing towards something very, very obvious but inexpressible and unknowable, totally unknowable. And it
Yeah,
is about living in the unknown. It is that going from that sense of feeling like a person who's in that closed loop of knowing I know the world and I know myself, and this is how I maintain my safety and negotiate a good deal for myself, to just there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just sound, there's just speaking, sitting on a chair, and it's then everything is fully alive then, because it was only half alive when you knew it as a person. You don't, it's not actually seen as it actually is.
Yeah, and plus it was tiring because always trying to understand it and
Yeah, it's exhausting.
uh,
Yeah, oh, it's always around the next corner. Like it's always in the next book. It's always in the
yeah,
next make the next promotion in the job. Maybe at the next satsang I'll fall away.
uh,
Whatever it is that your deal is, whatever your story is, it's something that's around the next corner. And
yeah.
for some it's totally exhausting.
Oh
Others
yeah.
it's not so much, but and that's the beauty of it. It just it's different for everyone.
Actually, funny thing, yesterday I went to osteopath.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the, like saying I kind of connected, and he told me the first thing he said to me, "What are you doing on the spiritual level?"
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, and
lovely.
he said,
Yeah.
you have to do something on the spiritual level.
Yeah, it's crept into kind of that's what's happened actually. It's crept into kind of everyday parlance, and it's become like it's a facet now of mainstream stuff. Like, what are you doing spirit? That's okay, but what
Yeah,
are you doing for your spiritual self now? Is a kind of a story that's going on. Yeah, it kind of
yeah,
crept in with mindfulness first, and
yeah,
then broader spiritual stuff. Yeah.
yeah. But problem is, which is not a problem, but I spent years, 6 months in a meditation center. I went to India. I did a lot of things, and when he told me that, all I was thinking, I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
No, no, I just want to go on my daily life,
I've drank from that well. Thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah, I have
Yeah.
zero interest, and I was very interested in reading book and everything, but no, I have zero interest.
Oh, zero interest. When that whole game just falls apart, then it's just gone forever. I mean, it just doesn't have any draw at all. And when it does, it's the only sometimes can become the only thing that's of any importance is some sort of spiritual attainment. And it's that's what appears to happen. It can't be any other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was just a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I
lovely to
loved it.
speak to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
thanks.
Spiritual chiropractors,
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, yeah, the thing is, he told me because I'm a reflexologist,
Oh,
and because I
okay.
was asking why should I do that, and he said it's gonna help you cure your patients. But I don't want to cure nobody. I just do it because I like it. I have no intention of curing anyone. I
I
don't
know,
know.
yeah. I mean, it's amazing, really, the ideas, all the concepts we have about life and how it should be and what people should do. And it's just endless. It's completely endless. Um, um, and it's a constant feeding on that as a person. The
Yeah,
next thing, the next thing, the next thing. I want to, and at the moment, it's very diverse, actually. It's like spirituality is almost just it's kind of going it's in vogue and it's out of vogue as well. It's just become like it's another kind of thing that the person can add on, more of a kind of optics thing, really. Most of the time is like, oh, spiritually I meditate, this is my spiritual self, this is what I do, and this is what I do for my physical self, and this is what I do for my, so there's different I've noticed that the person is kind of multifaceted, and you got to go in and hack the spiritual stuff. And it looks good to everybody then else. That's what really it's about as well, more than anything.
yeah. Actually, what I would say that apparently the world is apparently so polarized now. It's I would say it's easier to see it because
Yeah,
it's
definitely. Yeah,
yeah,
it's ridiculously polarized.
yeah,
It's
yeah, true.
incredibly tense. It's a complete tinderbox at the moment. It's phenomenal. It's energetically what's appearing to happen over the last 2 years is absolutely phenomenal, and most people have no idea. They think what's appearing to happen is what's very interesting about it is everyone is in their bubble, in that sense of being an individual. And it's literally, you can see the bubbles people are in, and they're so, you're either this side or that side or whatever. And that's been kind of exasperated by or enhanced by social media. And that's what has really kind of made this more extreme, I think, is that a lot of people have this kind of virtual reality they live in too, and a constant companion kind of model in which they have their mobile phone. So this constant companion is almost mimicking consciousness and awareness. And then the sense of being a person, one of the aspects of being a person is being comfortable, being in a protected, comfortable bubble of me. And all of that feeds that beautifully, because I have algorithms that can feed my reality, my closed reality, and then that's fed lovely, and I'm kept in my little bubble of me wonderfully. And so it enhances that and it facilitates it more. And the what you see then is that the person's tolerance for anything other than their reality has gone down massively. So everyone then there's such a polarization and a lack of any tolerance for something that's not this reality, because I can get fed this on a second by second basis and have it confirmed by what's in my pocket. And it's incredible, actually. It's just amazing. And as you said, it's more obvious than ever that everything is empty. The whole fucking gig is empty. It's completely fucking empty. And people, you know, for more and more people are seeing this, like all of this stuff, they're being fed and blah, 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 blah. And that's why you hear the word propaganda being used so much now. It's like, it feels like propaganda. It feels like, you know, and that whole, the energy of that is be afraid, be very afraid, be very, very, very afraid. Nasty things can happen. This can happen, that can happen. Oh, this might happen. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. And you're being bet over a head. Be afraid, be afraid, be afraid, be afraid. That was happening before this anyway. And now it's just absolutely exploded. And what we have then is a massive polarization all over, and it's a complete tipping point then as to what way this is gonna apparently go. It's incredible. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, I didn't want to say this, but I heard you said every interest falling away. So that's why I don't want to travel anymore. So need a new purpose, day drinking. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you, you always say everything in energy, the person doesn't exist, right?
I don't say the person doesn't exist. I don't think I use those words. Yeah.
But no person. We just identifying with ourselves, with the thoughts and the feelings. So this is not my feeling, not my thoughts.
Yeah,
so it's very simple thing. So nothing to speak about more, because it's very clear. What do you think it would be helpful if we put in the fridge and don't bother you anymore, because it's just 3 sentences?
Put what in the fridge?
We put these 3 sentences on the fridge and we don't bother you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, because I just hear all the time. I feel like,
oh, yeah. I mean,
I was thinking this or that, but who the fuck care, you
yeah,
know?
totally.
That's not your thinking or not your feelings.
Oh, you could sum up what's been said here, shared here, very, very like that. You could sum it up that it's just something you could write on your fridge. Absolutely. And this does not pretend to be anything else. It doesn't pretend to be.
Go back to your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your children or
I do, you know, but this is the agendalessness of this. It's just shared, and actually that's why it's complete energy. I know you're joking. I know.
Okay.
But I'm just making a point on it too.
But the day drinking is good idea, no?
I don't know if it works for you. That's what's appeared to happen.
No, I hate alcohol. Thanks God. So, okay.
Yeah, that's all. I gotta get maybe fridge magnets is what I'm hearing. I got to get some fridge magnets, and to get the right fridge magnet,
Okay, but
you
we
gotta pay.
can
You
get a
gotta buy it
lot.
off me because I've got this
Yeah,
certain syntax of words, and
yeah,
you
but it
can't buy
was
it off anyone
my
else.
it was my
Okay,
idea.
I'll give you
Don't forget.
0.01% of anything I make.
Okay,
Deal. It's a deal. It's done.
keep it, just
Oh,
keep
keep
it.
it. Thanks.
Okay,
Thanks. You're very generous.
and I will sit here for my 8 years or so, I don't know, the last breath.
Too. You'll have to put in your time, I'm afraid. You're committed now. Science that can't be questioned is propaganda. It's a lovely quote I heard at the beginning of all of this was I'd rather have questions I can't answer than answers I can't question. And I love that. Like, I mean, it's what about just dialogue? What about just talking? Just talk and maybe be able to talk about, well, this aspect or this aspect or this aspect. But no, let's just have one thing that we talk about and one narrative, which is, it is what it is. That's what's appearing to happen, and everything is politicized now. It's just incredible. Even this observation of the way the life is, then some people would find this too much, and they would put me into a camp. You're in this camp or you're in that camp, and that's how polarized it is. It's incredible. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Kenneth. Yeah, I was just going to say what I actually do is I write this stuff down and then I sellotape it to my wardrobe rather than the fridge, so I can just see.
Yeah.
I can just see whatever I get up or moving around. Just remind myself of things, everything being energy and.
Okay, but so you were doing that before this meeting.
Mm.
Okay, you don't have to pay me then. That's okay. But anyone after this meeting is going to have to give me a kickback because, I mean, this is where you heard it.
I can show you.
Fair is fair. I
don't know if you can see.
Yeah. I used to write a lot like that. Write stuff, right? Yeah, and writing can be nice, just
yeah.
What I noticed when I first heard this is there was no. I used to always go to things and write. I was one of those people who, if I went to an interesting lecture, I'd be just scribbling down quotes and lines and and it kind of kept it, as well as it just kind of helped keep the flow of it and kept my brain engaged as well. Not that I was terribly trying to get out
stuff written down,
But what I noticed was the first meeting I ever went to that was a clear, uncompromising message. There was no pen, there was no paper, there was nothing, and it was very obvious there was nothing I could get from it, which was incredible.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what's happening there.
So I've put just energy, aliveness, boundlessness, emptiness, appearing as everything. So similar.
Oh, you don't have them in that order, do you? That's the wrong order, Bill. Oh no wonder you still feel there. Oh, you should have rang me up. You should have asked me. You should have asked me. I would have told you that's the wrong order, man. You're never going to fall away if you got them in that order.
Oh dear, that's okay. I just wanted to sort of share that.
Nice to hear from you. Yeah.
Yeah, you too.
Hi, Kim.
Hey, Kenneth, there's a lot of fun today, and you comment on many things. And when you talk about people, how they react to this message and so on, I also I have this reaction of tension, and at the same time, this freedom you are Kenneth apparently talk about.
Yeah, it's incredible. There can be when this resonates, it's completely boundless. There's a different energy to this because it doesn't have an agenda. You're not actually being spoken to, which is interesting. And if you're not being spoken to as a person, then all you're being seen as is nothing. and nothing is everything. So that's quite an amazing energy. And
Yeah.
there's a boundlessness generally to it. When it's clear and uncompromising and from nothing, there's a boundlessness to it. But then that feels like a person can feel triggered and confronted in all sorts of ways at the same time, simultaneously.
Yeah, it's really fantastic to yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's lovely. It's much more fun not knowing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. In a way, this you were talking about the world, how it seems polarization. This
Polarized, yeah.
yeah. How there can be much more fun if you can say this message. Again, it's difficult to put words, but this this openness to whatever comes up. Instead of this, then you are this. No, you mean this, and so on.
Oh yeah, it's completely. There's no comparison. Like to feeling like a
Yeah.
person who has all this very strong belief system in which you're trying to overpower the other person and get them to believe your belief system. This is totally. There's like it's indescribable. It's stunning. It's just there's just what's appearing to happen. There's just energy, and all of because of that sense of being a person apparently falling away. With that is that whole sense of meaning. Any meaning in anything completely collapses. It's totally gone because that meaning was only there when you felt like a person in the world who imbued things with meaning. So that's one of the features of it. So then it's just it's indescribable. And it is that way already. It's not that it's not that I'm sharing something that could possibly be seen by you and it's available to you. There is no you that it's available to because it is already all that is. It's incredible. And everything is a play of light. So this, as it's playing out at the moment, there's actually no. That's all a story, and what it appears to be happening. It's all one big play of light, and energetically, it's all just energy. It's all just energy, and we'll see what apparently happens.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Would you say what's appearing to happen is uniquely appearing here, but without a location? Yeah, it's unique to the it's unique to the apparent person. I mean, I don't jump into the perception of another mind body and see things from there. It's not like that. People kind of feel that sometimes that, oh, not being a person, it's the same as what is appearing to happen, but it's indescribably different. So instead of there being a me who can see a tree and there's a thing called a tree there, it's that there's just life treeing. It's not describable. And the sense of location, you know, it's seen that there is no center to anything. So there's just what's appearing to happen. There's no time and space are an appearance. They're both real and unreal, but the unreal isn't seen all the time you're there.
Kenneth.
Oh yeah.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Laura.
You know what is so strange right now when there was the silence? Like the apparent reason why I even start to talk to you is because there was this thought coming up. Oh, this is like you don't have too many possibilities to talk with someone like you. So I need to take the opportunity that this possibility is even happening. Yeah, but I really have no question at all. Yeah, it is just that was everything. That's like this was coming up and now it's spoken out.
Oh yeah, that's what happened then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what appeared to happen. Yeah, there is no silence actually, really.
Mm.
It feels like that for the person. Again, the person feels like they're living in the real, so they live in a kind of it's a half alive kind of thing where they feel like somebody who sees something. So they see objects, so there's a subject object reality. So it's in a it's and speaking and are things happening, and when there's no speaking, it feels like an emptiness or a silence for the person, which sometimes can throw them a little bit. I'm
Oh,
not saying you were thrown there, but that's what kind of
maybe I
appeared to
was.
happen. Whereas
Yeah.
and there's often what you see is people try and kind of puncture a silence, because it can be
Mm-hmm.
feel a little bit threatening. Like
Mm-hmm.
no thing is threatening to the person, because no thing is is feared most. Um, your own absence, and what's yearned for most. So that's the paradox. But
Yeah.
what it is with this communication is there's nothing to actually say in one way. There's no agenda for any, and it's not about knowing anything. So I'm not imparting knowledge. That's not what this is. If it was, then it'd be much more of a busy kind of thing. We'd have an hour and we'd set out the schedule of
Mm.
I'd probably have more than about a 2 minute introduction, or whatever it is that's in, but that's not the way it is. It's just shared from nothing. So words either appear or they don't, and it's in the apparent silence as much as it is in any words. And actually, for some, it's even more so. It's when there's nothing being said that it really can. I've heard that many times over the years. People emailing me and saying, it's when there was something just apparently happened then.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
it's an organic kind of thing, as opposed to uh,
Yes.
a kind of what you find then with other things is to ease people's anxiety. You'd often have well, let's do a 5 minute silence, and so therefore the person knows who lives in the know, and they know what's happening then, so they're okay then. Okay, that's 5 minutes, that's fine, can do that.
Oh.
I know what's happening. I know that it is a planned silence. So you'd often see it, or a 10 minute, or whatever it is. That you'd often see that at gatherings, like spiritual gatherings. It will start with and there'll be a kind of a setting out of what's appearing to happen, and that
Mm.
the person likes that because they live in the known.
Yeah, which is artificial in a way.
It's totally artificial. That's what's
Mm.
being shared. That's the whole sense of being a person who is living a life is a story. You are not there living a life. There's only life. There's only what's appearing to happen. You're adding yourself to it, and you feel like you know the world and whatever. And it's through that mechanism you keep maintain yourself in safe from a world that feels outside of you. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, but what's being shared is that actually everything is unknowable, really. And there's observance that you can observe that patterns in the way things appear to be, but in its essence, everything is just totally unknowable. And that's
Mm.
what's yearned for, actually, is that unknowing. Again, that's what's yearned for. They're just to be the tree and not me looking at the tree. But the person doesn't know that then. And so they feel that they want to know about seeing the tree as it really is, and all of that then, or whatever, and it's just constant closed loop of knowing.
So unknowing is in a way home.
Well, you are, and you were already home because there is no you already, and it's already unknowable anyway, and that's invitation is constant, that there's no you speaking there now, there's just speaking, there's just whatever appears to be. If there's a thought, then that's just what's happening. There's a thought. It's very simple. There's no big go on, you go on.
Sorry, and something funnily, something knows this, like that did, like something is like,
oh, they're totally known already. This is completely known. What's been shared here is totally known. Maybe not in that way that we talk about knowing, but because you are already that, because you are already nothing being everything. You are already just energy, so it's totally completely known already. Just of course it is. And then overlaying that then is the artificial sense of being a person that is kind of appear to happen after birth, and then just seems to get more and more contracted into this real kind of sense of being a me. But it's completely known. Like, I mean, this can be, I've seen this being bang, just dish. Oh my God, it's so obvious. I've seen it happen, that this has been seen before I even said anything, and other people have even said it. Like, as the first words were coming out, it's not that common, but people say I knew immediately, it's straight away, and it was just bang, that was it. So it shows you that it's not to do with understanding or knowing, or it's totally energetic.
Totally. And yesterday I had a conversation with an apparent old friend, and in the last weeks, like I cannot describe that. I just had to stop the conversation because there was so much. I cannot describe it. It's like the polarization is not about facts. Apparently, it's also like, no, there is someone, and I need to do something, and you need to, like, there's always a problem. You need always to work on yourself. You need always to blah 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 blah. And I just couldn't go on with that conversation anymore. And it's not that I judge him, but I could just not do it anymore. I cannot describe it.
Well, I know exactly what you mean. It gets when there's an openness to it, and it resonates, and it's seen, and then when someone is trying to, or not when somebody, but when there's an energy to feed the person, and someone then speaks to you in a way that is very prescriptive and dogmatic, and you know, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that, then the energy of that is so different, and it's just like there can be just a moving away from that, and it's very energetic. It's just like, no thank you. No thank you. Thank you, but no thank you. And that's just the way it is. It's a very different energy to be spoken to, which the individual generally kind of craves in one way, is to be spoken to and fed. You know, I want to be given A, B, and C so I can get to D. You know, I want to be seen, and then it'll find the appropriate well to drink from that will feed their story. But when then it's seen that this resonates, there's none of these wells offer anything anymore.
That's correct. And there is something that here, like in the beginning when I got into this message, there was like this, I don't know, bliss, happiness, and I feel so much sadness going on here. There's lots of crying happening, and lots of, and I cannot trace it back.
Then you don't have to trace it back. You don't have to do anything. You're not there to do anything. There's just sadness then. There's just sadness. Sadness is appearing to happen. There you go.
It feels like loss. It feels like losing.
It may be, could be like in there, and that sense of being a person. There can be a huge sadness around the sense of that this person this individual I took to be real and my constant companion is not. It's empty. There can be enormous sadness around that. It's not uncommon, but it's just sadness. That's just what's appearing to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Talking.
Thanks, Laura. We have a comment. Maybe the person simply loves simplicity, and would you say fear is connected in general to the individual? And how would you say it's connected to the individual? Maybe it's just fear. It is just fear. There's just what's appearing to happen. There's an effort to describe the story of being an individual, and an aspect of that story is a generalized sense of fear that something bad might happen, which is then one of the features of being a person is a sense that there's a higher authority. So because there's a me, there's a them, there's a higher them that will mind me, protect me, and that this whole energetic feedback system of there's something to be afraid of, and that we can protect you from this thing that you should be afraid of. And this is the way the whole thing goes. It's always been like this. And it can be seen that there's no person, there's no individual, there's no separation. And in that is very obvious that there's no higher authority. There's no higher authority. There's no higher anything. So there's nobody there that would protect you from anything. There's just what's appearing to happen. Some of that is fear inducing, and some fear appears to happen, just as laughter appears to happen, just as pain appears to happen, just as pleasure appears to happen. But it's different to the sense of being a person who is it's an anxious, fearful energy of something, this thing that might happen, this kind of free floating dangerous thing that might happen, and that's the way it is. That's the way the things are appearing. And it's increasingly obvious then to many that the whole thing is empty. Everything, all of that is empty. It's just what's appearing to happen. There's just simply what's appearing to happen. It's just energy. Hi, Victoria.
Every silence is artificial. You say this, or because here is always silence.
Yeah, no, totally, completely. Yeah, there's no silence. That's what I'm saying. Is there's actually no silence.
But
apparently.
It's pouring from my ears, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, not from my
artificial.
Actually,
what I was saying was that for the silences that people are used to as people, or
you mean the practicing the silence?
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's what I was saying. Like when someone says, "Let's have a moment of silence for 10 minutes," or that's what I was referring to.
5 years ago, I noticed only silence here. But
there is only silence.
Didn't realize before, you know.
Yeah.
It was shock, you know, what happening.
Yeah, because actually, this is nothing being everything.
Yeah.
So there's no thing called silence, actually. Everything is nothing and nothing is everything. And sometimes sound appears and sometimes it doesn't appear, but there's actually, it's all the same energy. That's what I was attempting to describe. And that's why when it's a difference when...
So I'm not totally stupid then, okay.
No, you're delightful, Victoria. Delightful. Hi, Matthias.
Hi, Kenneth.
How you doing?
Good. It's impossible to respond to that invitation.
And you don't need to respond. There's nobody being asked to respond to anything. So what the response is, the energetic resonance of it, the apparent response. So when the invitation is just that there's a sharing here, and the response, there's nothing, nobody been asked to respond or do anything, or but it appears to resonate. That's the point.
Yeah.
There's nobody being asked to respond to an invitation. There's nothing is being asked of anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so double. When you say this, I can see it on one hand.
Yeah.
Nothing, nobody. It's the
Mm.
relief. And on the other hand, it's so frustrating for me.
Oh, completely. It's a horrible thing for me. This whole communication is absolutely horrible for me. It's
This
horrible.
is terrible.
It's
I will
terrible.
never
It's
make
absolutely hopeless. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to know. The me is continually, confronted with this. Boom, boom, boom. It doesn't get fed here at all. And the amazing thing is that you're not going to get it ever, because there's nothing to get. Once you feel you've gotten it, then you haven't got it, because it can't be gotten. So as the person feels, oh, I have it now, and I understood it, that all that would be some sort of intellectual abstraction of what's being said, because it's not. I don't have anything. It's ungettable. It's unknowable. And that's the isness of whatever appears to be, the nothing being everything, completely beyond knowing and understanding, which is frustrating then to a person who lives in a closed loop of knowing. That's not going to cut the mustard. I want to know, basically what you could sum it up as, the person, what I want to know, that it's unknowable. So give it, why?
I want to get it.
I want to get that it's not gettable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Hi, Lucianne.
Oh, hi, Kenneth. I just wanted to say hello first, because I've been watching you for a while. And I never said hello, and I really enjoy your meetings.
Yeah, they're very enjoyable, aren't they?
Yeah. And then just
or maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I just wanted to go back to little bit like what Laura said. Because there is a sense of that there's also what's happening in a way, but also there is, I struggle sometimes, and like pulling back to the story, and I find I struggle sometimes just, having to relate to other people and family when, it's you all the time have to be making plans, and it is not okay to just actually live now with, and just, okay, let's just wait and see what's happened. We don't know what's going to happen. So can't we just, live now? And so, so there's a little bit of a struggle with relating sometimes. And I guess...
go on, sorry.
Yeah, because I guess before I had an idea of maybe when, I get enlightened, I'm going to be loved or anything. But it's actually, it's the opposite that is happening. And there is more a sense of, you start noticing things, and you see that nobody else, it feels like everybody else is, I don't know. I don't know how to explain, but
so so that's what's appearing to happen then. So the idea that you'll get enlightened is an idea, it's a concept.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as enlightenment. So enlightenment is the seeing that there is nobody. So nobody becomes enlightened, if you want to put it that way. There's no such thing as enlightened. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to be attained. Only for the person who lives in a closed loop of knowing, lives in the known, they feel that it is something, and they feel that there's something missing. So the logical thing for something missing was, if I get this enlightenment thing, then I'll be there. And that's just it's just that whole energy of being a person, that what's being looked for is somehow outside their grasp, around the next corner, and there's constant striving for it. And what's being shared here is that there is no next corner. There's nothing to get. There's nothing to know. And there's just energy. There's just what's appearing to happen. So if that thing that's appearing to happen is discomforting or uncomfortable, then that's what's appearing to happen. It's uncomfortable. It's that's just that. And there's no relating, actually. That's all a story there that you said, that about having to, I have to this, I have to that for this. That's all a story. There's actually no relating. It's separate things that relate. It's separate people that relate in the story. And when that sense of being a person is no longer, it's seen that it's all a play of light. There's nobody actually relating to another person who is separate, because there is no other that's separate. So conflict can appear to arise, and conflict is the very interwoven into the very fabric of being alive, because I want this and you want that, and that's what's appearing to happen. And when there's nobody any longer, conflict still appears, but it's an appearance, and there's no right or wrong, and it's nothing appearing to happen. It's totally different.
Okay.
So it's very simple what's been shared. It's very ordinary. It's very obvious that there's just what's appearing to happen. So if that is one person wanting something else, and someone's saying, oh, we need to do this or we need to do that, that's just what's appearing to happen. And if it's conflict, it's that appearance of conflict plays out like it plays out.
Okay.
There's no place to get to that none of that happens, or that's only an idea.
Okay, so everything will be this. Everything is the same.
Everything is the same. Of course, it's the same, because there's already nobody. There's already no individual. So what's being yearned for is already just what's appearing to happen. The apparent difficulty is that the person, once they feel there, they still feel there. So it doesn't feel like it's this then. So what Kenneth is sharing and other people are sharing, it sounds like it's something better than what I'm experiencing, because what I'm experiencing is just kind of ordinary and I don't like it. And so what the person isn't spoken to here, because the person can't hear what's being said anyway. It'll turn it into some sort of carrot that it's something else, but it's nothing to do. The person isn't being recognized or spoken to, and it's just a resonance, an energetic resonance. It can be very obvious that actually there's no Zoom meeting, there's no non-duality, there's just simply what appears to happen. It's very ordinary, very obvious, too obvious.
Yeah.
It's already just liberation.
There is a seeing of that, but at the same time there is still like a very subtle idea that I guess that something is going to happen, and that feeling of being uncomfortable sometimes, or it's not going to be there anymore, or at least
and it can also be seen that that's just what's appearing to happen. That's just another, that's not wrong, that's not bad, that's not anything, that's just another idea that happens. That's just and all the time there is a sense of being separate, and that's just what's appearing to happen. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because I've had moments when I was when I dance or do something and I feel so full, but it's not that either. It's everything, isn't it?
Well, it is that, and it's everything else too. It is the sense of just dancing, and there not being a sense of a me who dances, and there just being the dance, and that hints very much of what's being shared. Like, people in their passions often get so lost in their passions that they're not there whether it's a sport or it's an artistic endeavor or it's music, or something. You'd often hear it in music, people just say, an hour went past and there was singing and playing and I didn't feel I was doing any of it. And what's been shared is that's actually the way it is always, but then that sense of being a me can appear to come back also. And that's just what appears to happen. But it is that everything that appears to happen is it. So if it's a discomfort, uncomfortable thing, that's also it. It's not like you say some beautiful kind of experience of just there's just dancing and it was lovely and there was oneness and everything. And that's what the person also does. They kind of imagine this as what's been shared is some lovely kind of positive state or something like that, and where nothing bad appears to happen or nothing uncomfortable appears to happen. That's just another idea also.
Thank you.
Oh, body swayed to music, oh brightening glance, how do we know the dancer from the dance? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks everyone. I have a link in the chat if people would like to contribute. And does anyone know how to get onto Emerson's talk? Because I think I'm speaking tonight at
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. No, 7. Here is 8.
Yeah,
so,
7 o'clock UK time. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're writing a letter and.
I know. Yeah, there's a misunderstanding there.
Matter.
For
don't
once,
drink.
For once,
don't
it's not my
drink
fault.
Too much.
Don't drink too much.
What's going to happen with Emerson and you?
I done some. We're doing a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock UK. How do you get onto that, Victoria?
I got a letter, and I follow you all the time, everywhere.
No, how do we join the meeting, Victoria? How do we join the meeting? Is there a link available?
Yeah, and also you can have a link from the YouTube at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Oh, you just go to YouTube, Nothing FM. Okay. Oh yeah, just go to Nothing FM, and on YouTube there's a link to it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually Emerson send everyone to the link in email.
All right, if he'd probably I'll just send another email out later.
Okay, don't send anything. Emerson will do that. Please don't send anything.
There's people who aren't on Emerson's list, you see, Victoria. So there we go.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Nothing matters.
Love you.
Nothing matters. Okay, guys, thanks so much. And there's a talk this weekend as well. So anyway, it's all all about that. Take care. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kenneth. That was great.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.